You know, I started off last night's program talking about the late, great Ted Olson. Tonight I want to talk about a dear friend, a big in this business, radio, and even beyond, a man who strongly believes in the conservative cause and in this country. And the reports in the news about our friend Dennis Prager, that he fell in the shower and hurt his back. I am not at liberty to expand beyond that, other than to say, if you're a person of faith, I would encourage you to pray for Dennis Prager. It was a terrible, terrible accident. I'll put it to you that way. So please do. He's a great patriot and a human being. This is not a statement that he's passing or anything like that. I'm just saying it was a terrible, terrible accident. So let's say our prayers and wish he and his wife and his family all the best here. Just Prager University, that is such a tremendous platform, and he created it. And if you've ever heard him speak, you know, the folks in L.A., of course, and other cities that hear Dennis, they know how brilliant he is. But in person, he's even more brilliant. He's a good guy. He's a great guy. So I just wanted to pass that on. I want to elaborate on this issue of the president's selections for the cabinet. I'm not a fan of all of them, but I don't care. I want you to listen carefully to me. This is important. He's elected president of the United States, not me, not any senator. They have an advising consent role. There's no question about it. But I would remind those Republicans in the Senate who are going to be in the majority, you would not be in a majority but for Donald Trump's coattails, for the red wave. The Democrats would. And I'm also convinced he's the only Republican candidate who would have won the presidency under these circumstances. Not the reverse of what everybody said, he's the only one who couldn't win. No, he's the only one who could win, and he won in a landslide. And he won with a coalition of voters that nobody ever really thought was possible. And so while I may have issues with one nominee here or there, another one here or there, so what? They should bundle them up after they have their hearings. The Republicans should vote each one of them through, have an up or down vote, a roll call vote on the floor of the Senate, and give the president the team that he wants and he feels he needs. This shouldn't shock anybody what I'm saying. Again, it doesn't mean I'm a pom-pom boy for every single one of them. That's irrelevant. This is the team he wants. This is the team he feels he needs. It's the team he should get. And if down the road something goes off the rail with one nominee or another in terms of their service as a cabinet secretary, then they deal with it. But he's made these decisions after getting support from the voters. Many of the individuals in the Senate, Republicans included, who are objecting, did not face the voters this election cycle. Remember, 2/3 of the Senate is not up for election. And I look at them and putting aside every one of the nominees, and I think to myself, you dumb bastards created this problem. You did nothing to secure the border except run your mouth. You did nothing to bring down inflation except run your mouth. You did nothing to fund and support a United States military where its funds and weapons are being depleted. They can't meet its recruitment goals. And all you do is run your mouth. Our schools aren't teaching the basics anymore. They're teaching pornography. And all you do is run your mouth. We've got the enemy funding our universities and protests in our street, and all you do is run your mouth. We've got anti-Semitism in this country like we've never seen before, and all you do is run your mouth. It's not too much to get behind this president, given what he's been through, given everything he put on the line, his life, his family, his business. And to say as a senator, you know, for once I'm going to shut my damn big mouth. I'm going to get behind this man. If he wants Ernie Grabowski as Attorney General, so be it. If he wants somebody else as this, that, so be it. I'm going to give him the vote to give him the team that he wants. That's what I'm going to do. Even though I have issues with this one or I have issues with that one, I don't think it was a good choice, so be it. So be it. The Democrats never conduct themselves this way. They don't say, look at that tampon Tim, he's the biggest a-hole in politics. No, they rally behind the guy. Kamala Harris is utterly unqualified to be president. There is nothing that recommends her to be even vice president. They rally behind her. Our guys, right out of the box, they're running for the hills. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it. You can tell the president privately what you think. That guy's a goofball. That woman is way out of line. That's fine. But this is the team he wants. It's the team he ought to get. And over time, he'll either be right or wrong about a particular cabinet official or administrator. It happens. It happens. So that's my view. I've gotten calls today, oh, my God, he picks this one, he picks that one, and so forth. I don't have a lot in common with Robert F. Kennedy, Jr., but I'm not president. I'm just being honest with you. Give the guy a break, Trump. Give him a break. Get off his ass just once. Get off his back. And let's see what he can do, which is a lot. Which is a ton. Now, these Republicans in the Senate, they're going to be chairman of committees. They're going to be chairman of subcommittees. No thanks to them. Thanks to Trump. Are they going to use those positions now to sabotage him? I don't care what Susan Collins thinks and Lisa Murkowski. These are two loads. They're the weakest links in the chain. They just always are. Right out of the box. Because they're self-aggrandizers. They only care about themselves and their own politics. That's all they care about. And, of course, the media run to them, get their opinion, and they're just fantastic, you know. But that's the team he wants. That's the team he ought to get. We wouldn't have the House of Representatives today. We wouldn't have the Senate today. We wouldn't have the presidency today but for Donald Trump. So many of these political hacks, they're just ingrates, absolute ingrates. I heard this Republican from North Dakota, I don't even know who the hell he is, smirking about how he's going to vote against this one or the other one and so forth. He wasn't up for re-election. He didn't have to face the voters. They always claim how conservative they are when they run. They always claim how loyal they are. They're fealty. They always talk about it. As soon as they get to Washington, they go rogue. They go rogue. Now they control all the elected branches in Washington. Both houses of Congress and the presidency. The Democrats, as I speak, are in the dark. They're under the radar, plotting to destroy Donald Trump and his presidency, plotting to undermine the majority in the House and the Senate. That's who they are. That's what they're doing. Out in the open, brazenly, in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, one of the big counties that's still counting, the 3 commissioners voted to count illegal votes just now. And I posted it if you want to check it out on all my social sites. They just voted to count all these ballots. that violate state law and violate a court order. They basically said, screw you, that's how we're voting. Media's not covering it. Cable's not covering it. The networks aren't covering it. Whatever happened to accepting an election? Whatever happened to the peaceful transition of power? Bob Casey lost. They have this slip and fall bastard lawyer by the name of Mark Elias, a real scumball, who's in there doing his thing with Democrats more than happy to deliver. Nobody's going to be charged with any kind of federal offense. Not out of Washington, D.C. Nobody's going to be charged with obstructing an election. Only Trump gets charged. But that's exactly what they're doing in Pennsylvania. You clowns in the media, you lying thugs in the media. Are we going to accept the results of the election? Is Chuck Schumer going to accept it? Are the Democrats in Pennsylvania going to accept it? Is Mark Elias going to accept it? You clowns, you frauds on the Sunday shows, you make me sick to my stomach. As they try and steal a Senate race in Pennsylvania from David McCormick, they hand it to Bob Casey. And you folks in Pennsylvania, you ought to be furious. Furious. And those commissioners in Bucks County, when this is over, they ought to be prosecuted and go to jail for not following the law. Prosecuted and go to jail. That's what ought to happen.